Yes, good morning, guys. This is the lecture on FEM, finite element application to 1D heat conduction problems. This comes in module 4. It's a very important question. Of course, you are familiar with heat transfer topics in your heat transfer course. That is the what you study, the conduction, convection, and radiation. In the FEM, you will be solving only 1D heat conduction problems. I am G.R. Gurnagendra, the faculty is going to go for this particular topic. Okay, you can see the topic or the description. This is the 1D heat conduction using finite element techniques. So just a brief introduction I'll be giving on heat transfer. Of course, as I told in the beginning, heat transfer, what you call the comprehensive knowledge of heat transfer you would have got in your heat transfer course. All of you are aware that it's a very application-oriented topic, widely used in most of the mechanical engineering, chemical engineering, and other engineering allied applications. Heat transfer is a process of transfer of heat from high temperature body to low temperature body. Applications leads to a lot of thermal devices, maybe engines, turbines, refrigerators, and air conditioning systems, cold and both hot temperature associated with heat transfer applications. Heat transfer is the movement of heat across the boundary of the system due to temperature difference between the system and surroundings. So all of you are aware that from your laws of thermodynamics, heat always flows from hot body to cold body, keeping the thermal equilibrium intact. So it's the basically heat is the energy in motion which always transfers from hot body, high temperature body to low temperature body, doing some useful activities. There are three modes of heat transfers. You should be studying these things in brief. There is no detailed explanation required in this topic. We will be more focusing on how to solve problems on 1D heat conduction, one dimension only. It's not even 2D, 3D complicated problems. It's simple problems, just like you have solved 1D bar problems in structural applications. We'll be solving 1D heat conduction problems in thermal applications. Just a brief introduction. Of course, we'll be doing a lot of exercises similar to it in your laboratory sessions also. There are three modes of heat transfer. Conduction, all of you are aware that it happens or transfer of heat between solid bodies. So it's a simple example. You will be aware of it from your school days. Heating one end of the metal rod, you will see the temperature, going to increase from the that end to the other end. So that is the mode of heat transfer in solids. Okay. So in solids bodies, okay, you will be observing this heat transfer. Pipes or anything subjected to heat, getting the heat gets flowing from one point to another point. So Fourier's law of conduction governs the conduction heat transfer. So you are aware of this equation, the Fourier law of conduction, Q equals minus K dt by dx. So dt by dx is the thermal difference, thermal gradient we call it as. K is the thermal conductivity of the material through which the heat flows. A is the area exposed, dt is the temperature difference, dx is the thickness of the whatever the object, the solid. Okay, so this is the 1D heat transfer. So you know that negative sign why it is so, there is a decrease in the heat transfer. So K is the thermal conductivity. All of you are aware of this unit, watts per meter degree Kelvin. So units plays an important role. We will be only focusing on this topic, conduction only. So to understand other modes of heat transfer, briefly let me just go through what are the other modes. Transfer of heat between solid surface and liquid is called convection heat transfer. Another very important mode of heat transfer in fluids you will observe. Simple example you can cite is heating of water in a vessel. So what is the law that governs the convection heat transfer is Newton's law of cooling. So the equation is as shown. Q equals HA Ts minus T infinity. All of you are aware this about this equation in heat transfer class. A lot of equation problems are solved on this. So H and the heat transfer coefficient, film coefficient, we call it as heat transfer in convection, area exposed, Ts and T infinity is the temperature of the surroundings, the absolute surface temperatures. So there is always this temperature difference that plays an important role in heat transfer. See, Ts minus T infinity, here it is dt by dx dt. That means temperature difference is a must for heat transfer to takes place. So what is the Q? Q is simply defined as heat transfer. The magnitude of heat transfer, that is kilowatts or watts you can use. H is the film coefficient. Try to observe the, what you call the units, watts per meter square degree Celsius or meter square degree Kelvin. You can observe here for thermal conductivity, it is watts per meter degree Kelvin. So let me not stress more on it. So Ts and T infinity are temperatures in degree Celsius or degree Kelvins. Next comes to the third very important mode of heat transfer, widely used in, widely seen in solar applications or another kind of applications, like what you are seeing the recently the temperature sensor, infrared temperature sensor for a body during the diagnosis of fever, whatever it is. In the coronavirus, you might have observed the radiation heat transfer is widely used to sense the temperature of the human body. So when two bodies are at different temperature and separated by a distance, the heat transfer between them is called radiation heat transfer. There is no media used. So obviously, you are aware of this. So infrared sensors nowadays you would have observed on day-to-day basis people testing the temperature of a human body for diagnosis. So there is no media used like solid or liquid, whatever it is. It is simply through electromagnetic radiation. It occurs due to the waves, electromagnetic waves that exist in the atmosphere. So example, you are all aware of that solar radiations. So again, the equation that governs this radiation mode of heat transfer is Stephen-Boltzmann equation, Stephen-Boltzmann constant sigma. So Q is sigma A T over 4 minus T infinity power 4. So this is fourth power of temperature. Okay. So the sigma is Stephen-Boltzmann constant, which is watts per meter squared Kelvin power 4. This is a constant term. Of course, a lot of numerical problems we'll be solving related to radiation in a heat transfer course. Now coming back to the present study, conduction, 1D heat conduction, you have to make a note of this important formula to be used while doing some of the numericals. So we'll straight away enter the numerical aspect. So conductivity matrix is Ka by L. So this is a very familiar matrix to all of you. It is almost resembling the stiffness matrix of a bar. Observe this. Ka by L, 1 minus 1 minus 1, 1. There it was Ea by L. So K is replacing the E of Young's modulus of a bar structural element. Okay, structural element, you will have the Young's modulus as the stiffness. Here it is the thermal conductivity K. So don't confuse this as stiffness. K stands for your thermal conductivity. A is the area exposed. L is the length of the body or the thickness of the body, area exposed to temperature. So please remember this equation. Then come to the another important matrix. If some kind of convective coefficient exists in that problem, you are supposed to use this equation. Very simple. Sorry, the matrix. The matrix. Please make a note of it. 0, 0. It's all 2 cross 2 matrix. Simple 1D problem. One element, 2 nodes, 1 degree of freedom. Here the unknowns. Remember, here the unknowns are temperatures. So in all the heat transfer problems, the temperatures are the unknowns. In case of structural problems, displacements are the unknowns. So in all these problems, the objective is to find the nodal temperatures. So you can see the convectivity matrix is, let us not derive all these equations and spend more time on it. Try to do some numericals on this. So 0, 0, 0 HI, 2 cross 2 matrix. H stands for film coefficient. All of you are aware of this. Near Newton's law of cooling, this is the one. H term, film coefficient or heat transfer coefficient. 0, 0, 0 HA. It is to the right. If you observe to the right, it will be 0, 0, 0 HA. If it is to the left, it will be HA 0, 0. What is this right? What is this left? If you are little confused or just pondering on it, I will be explaining these things once I enter the problem. Just for the time being, just have a look into it, make a note of this. So HA is in this 2 cross 2 matrix. It is second row, second column. Here it is first row, first column, first element. Okay, extreme left, top left, you will see HA. Extreme right, what do you call extreme right, top, bottom right, you will see HA. HA are term. A is the area exposed. So if it is right, you use this matrix. If it is to the left, use this matrix. I will explain what it is later on. So load vector due to convection at free end. If you observe any convection happening at the free end, there is always the thermal load that is going to affect this. So how to calculate this? The ready-made equation is there. Again, there is right and left. R stands for right. Observe here, R stands for right, L stands for left. So AHT infinity, surface temperature, the surrounding temperature, H is the film coefficient, area exposed, 0, 1 to the right, if at all it is to the right. To the left, it is 1, 0. It will be very, very easy when you start doing one problem. I'll explain it. So make a note of it. I'll just come back to this once I solve problems. So thermal equilibrium, what is thermal equilibrium? In structural equilibrium, you have Ku equals F form, the equation of thermal structural equilibrium using potential energy approach. You would have observed K stiffness matrix, U displacement vector, F force vector. Here it is thermal conductivity matrix, temperature vector, film coefficient if at all convection is the existing, T is temperature vector, F is not the structural load or whatever it is a thermal load. F stands for thermal load. Simply KT equals F. There is another term coming here, HT. Whenever you see convection happening, HT will also has to be brought into the picture. So these very, very important three equations, conductivity matrix, convectivity matrix, and the thermal equilibrium expression and load vector when convection is occurring at the pre-end. Please make a note of this. Now coming back to the very frequently asked expression in one of the many of the question paper, you might have seen derive the thermal conductivity matrix of a 1D heat conduction. So it is synonymous to very important question you observe in structural problems. Derive structural stiffness matrix, okay, for a 1D bar element. So your bar element is replaced by 1D heat conduction. So it is not stiffness matrix, it is thermal conductivity. This is often asked in module 4, one of the for 8 marks or 6 marks you might have observed, okay, in previous question papers. So what is that steps? Let me explain. Take one body of thickness L units. You have the inner surface, you have the outer surface. So there is a high temperature here. Consider this as furnace wall. I'm very familiar with these examples in your retransfer classes. Consider this as a furnace wall. This area is exposed to high temperature. This is the surface. There is a thickness L. Of course, this is made of some kind of material. The property of the material is thermal conductivity, we call it as. There are two nodes, discretize it, 1 and 2. Just look at this, 1, 2, L. These are the boundaries, x equals 0, x equals L. T1, T2 are nodal unknowns. The nodal unknowns are temperatures here, not displacements. In structural ground, displacements, nodal unknown is temperature. Now, what is the technique you solve in bar element? Choose a trial function. Trial function, the way the variation occurs of the unknown. There it is displacement, here temperature is the unknown. There is a linear variation. You have solved a lot of numericals on it. So temperature T is defined by A0 plus A1x. Apply boundary condition at x equals 0, t equals t1. This is at x equals 0, t equals t1. At x equals L, t equals t2. Look at this at x equals 0. Please don't confuse. This is not A. This is x equals 0. I expect you to go through the videos. Don't just simply read and try to get confused. Just go through the video. Write down once. X equals 0, t equals t1. So when you substitute x equals 0, this term will vanish. So t equals t1, a0 will become t1. Similarly, at x equals L, t equals t2. Simply substitute at x as L here, t as t2. So you'll have t2 is equal to a0 plus a1L. So you know a0 is t1. Now if you substitute a0 as t1, you can get easily the value for a1, which is t2 minus t1 by L. That's it. Now go back and substitute the t1 and a0 and a1 expression in the trial function. So t is equal to a0 is t1. A1 is T2 minus T1 by L into X. So you will be getting this expression. Now just rearrange the terms. Say, look at this, I've marked in red pen. The exam point of view, this is a famous question. They ask derive element conductivity matrix of 1D heat conduction. If at all they ask, you have to practice this, expression. T is equal to T1 plus T2 minus T1 by L into X. Rearrange the term. The X term is term wise multiplication. To do inside, bring the X here. So it is as similar to your structural problem, the expression. So 1 minus X by L into T1 plus X by L into T2. Where is X is nothing but the local coordinate system. So you will be having this expression N1 T1 plus, please make this correction. It is N2 T2, not T2 T2. Please make a look at it. There is a small mistake. Sorry for it. So it is N1 T1 plus N2 T2. What is N1? It is 1 minus X by. Look at this similarity. T equals N1 T1 plus N2 T2. N1 is 1 minus x by L. N2 is x by L. This is typical shape function. N1 is 1 at node 1 and 0 at other nodes similarly. Now similarly use the spine displacement matrix like where you will be finding the variation of the temperature with respect to the thickness. Then you will get this expression B matrix and put this into the picture of stiffness matrix B transpose dB. dB in the same lines, but here almost everything remains the same. Now if you substitute Ke is Ka. K is the thermal conductivity, there it was E, now it is K is coming. Look at this, D matrix is replaced by K matrix, B is this value, B transpose is transpose of this. Now termwise multiplication 1 by L square, 1 by L square, minus 1 by L square, this minus 1 by L square, and this into this plus 1 by L square. I took cross 2 matrix, 0 to L is that. So if you look, take 1 by L square out, the dx integral of dx is x. So upper limit is L. So 1L, 1L cancels. So all these common L will go here. Ka by L or Ak by L. Then the remaining terms are only 1 minus 1 minus 1 and 1. So 1, 2, 1, 2. This is all about your element conductivity stiffness matrix. See, it's very simple as your bar problem, 1D bar stiffness matrix. Write down the wall, a typical furnace wall, discretize, then use the trial function, put the boundary conditions, simplify, rearrange the terms, put it in the shape function form, and then find the shape functions or linear shape functions obviously, then put it in this equation, general equation, similar equation. But the B matrix and is almost same as your structural B matrix. K will replace E of your structural products, then you will get this. So this has to be used in for the numerical calculation. This matrix is called thermoconductivity. Now, if at all there you observe free end convection in case of these type of products, you might have observed there is a wall here. There is a wall, but there is no free end convection. It's a solid, so conduction is considered. Now, if at all you observe as film coefficient, a thin layer of air or film close to this boundary layer. So you have what you call an insulating effect H. We call it as free end convection. H is defined as watts per meter square degree Kelvin. This is Newton's law of cooling. In fluids it will happen. So this also acts as some kind of a what you call the insulation. This one. Now what is that? How to find it? So there is a ready-made equation. You do not too much worry on this. Just for it's a one page of expression. So you have to, since it is a area, you have a two integral H n transpose n dA. Please make a note of this. So what is n1 and n2 will come from this step. n1 is 1 minus x by L, n2 is x by L. I'll put it here. What is at node 2 will be n will be 0. This one at node 1 n1 will be 0, n2 will be 1. So put these values at the free end. Okay, this is at node 2 I am focusing because node 1 is here. It's all specified boundary conditions. You know this area is exposed to a high temperature, like some fluid is there. It might be a boiler wall or a furnace wall. There's a very high temperature here, this portion. And here is the film portion. Now, you might be seeing in node 2, n1 will be 0, n2 will be 1, obviously. Yes, as per shape properties, n1 will be 0, n2 will be 1. So KH at the end, free end convection, double integral, area integral, H you write down, n transpose you write 0, 1, and this will be 0, 1. Then you put it in this form. Okay, this is cross to matrix integral dA. What is integral dA? It is A. So H 0, 0, 0, 1. If you find free end, a force vector due to free end convection, observe here. Go back, go back, go back, go back. Look at this 0, 0, 0 HA. There it is. Here it is HA 0, 0, 0, 1. So if you take inside this value, it is 0, 0, 0 HA. Same as the one I just showed at the the start of this lecture. So 0, 0, then it is right. Where it is right, here it is right. So you observe this is left hand, this is right hand, left hand. If it is to the right hand, you can see 0, 0, 0 HA or HA 0, 0, 0. and try to understand this. To the right, if at all the force vector to be found, it is AST infinity. There is no derivation as such. No, just make a note of it. The right hand, if it is 0, 1, 0, 1, N1, N2. What is N1 is 0, N2 is 1. Look at this. N1 is 0, N2 is 1. To the right, AHT infinity 0, 1. Look at this. AHT infinity 0, 1 to the right. What is this 0, 1? Is nothing but your shape function. 0, 1. N1 is 0. Why 0, 1, not 1, 0? Because you are focusing on node 2. Where is H at node 2? H is exposed near to the node 2. So 0, 1. Similar to the left, it will be, this will change 1, 0. Okay. Now boundary conditions. All of you know boundary conditions play an important role in finite element method. Little blur photo is there of the image of the nodes. Please bear with me this one sheet. So it's a 1D transfer. So all of you know that boundary conditions play an important role in solving a few problems. So proper boundary conditions to be imposed. Otherwise, you will get a lot of poor answers. We call it as poor solutions. And you have to do the repeat the steps. We call it as iterations to be done. Okay. So there are real problems projects what people do in industries. If they properly if they wrongly choose or impose boundary condition, they end up with results and they have to redo the analysis. Look at this, the three types of boundary conditions in case of the finite element problem in E-transfer. In case of structural problems, you have essential boundary conditions and non-essential boundary conditions. Keep the body in equilibrium. Here you have three types: imposed heat flux, imposed temperature, convection through an end node. So let us not dwell more on this. The inner surface, outer surface, exposed to outer temperature. T naught, TL. This is the L wall of furnace. So this is how the boundary conditions are described. X equals 0, T equals T naught, X equals L, T equals TL. In case of convection through an end node, you will see one kind of convection heat transfer. This is the way the symbolic representation. This is the inner surface, and this is at the outer surface. Now straight away we'll move to a typical 1D problem. So you might, if you refer any of the FEM books on heat transfer or any general books, this kind of problems you'll be noticing in case of heat transfer chapters. So let us try to understand one classic problem and try to understand other problems. So I hope all of you are focusing on this particular problem. So you have understood the simple derivation, basics of heat transfer, and what are the equations which will be further used in this particular topic. You observe there is a furnace wall. It's made up of 3 layers. Very famous question in heat transfer. You must be solving a lot of problems on this. Made up of 3 layers: inside layer, middle layer, and an outer layer. Okay, 3 walls. Okay, composite walls we call it as 3 composite walls with 3 different thermal conductivities: K1, K2, K3. Different materials may be used, brick or whatever it is, insulators. Okay, here is the one end, 600 degrees Celsius. What do you mean by this? There is something hot fluid associated with this, something steam or whatever it is, or some molten metal. This is what the hot fluid associated in this end. Thermal conductivity is K1, K2, K3. Determine the temperature at nodes, and there is a film coefficient to the right of this structure. Wall, composite wall. Film coefficient is H is acting to the right. You can see there is some small flow here described. T infinity is 30 degrees Celsius, ambient temperature 30 degrees Celsius. So the thermal conductivity values are specified in all the problems. They will specify K1, K2, K3. So K1 is 8.5, quite bigger wall, 25 centimeter. K2 is 0.25 watts per meter degree kelvins. Observe the value kelvins. 5 centimeter thickness. The wall thickness is only 5 centimeters, quite big and quite small, and still smaller than that is 3 centimeter thick of K3. Okay, brick or whatever the what you call the insulators used in furnace applications, composite wall. So familiar with this. Okay, So H is 45 watts per meter square degree Kelvin, and T infinity is 30 degree Celsius. So this is all the given data. Now what is that step you want to do when you observe this problem? It's very interesting and easy. Just try to observe here. So I'll discretize into three elements. 1, 2, 3. Observe here. 1, 2, 3 elements. Okay, you can refer books, textbooks. You can see a lot of problems on this. Okay, so just understand and try to do some problems. So there are how many nodes? 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 nodes, 3 elements. Observe, elements are circled, nodes are written as it is. 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers. 1, 2, 3 elements. At one end you have 600 degrees Celsius. At the other end you have 30 degrees Celsius, along with a film coefficient, what you call the heat transfer coefficient, also at the node 4, right of node 4. Observe here, to the right of node 4 or to the right of element 3, you observe H. Also in this, to the right, not to the left. You have seen the equations just before, is to the right. So they said 3 elements. 600 is nodal and temperature, the one end specified here, 600. Now what is T2, T3, T4, everything you have to find. Let me do the problem. So for element 1, write the conductivity matrix. From here onwards, don't write stiffness matrix. It has to be called as conductivity matrix. Ka by L, 1 minus 1 minus 1, 1. So this has been derived. So what is the node numbers? 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. So we'll be observing K1. What is K1? 8.5 for first element. Always for unit area, heat flux, unit area you can take whenever they don't give area, you write 1 units, 1 meter square. Okay. Then L is 0.25 meters, 25 centimeters is given, everything is in meters. So let me convert into common units. 8.5 watts per meter degree Kelvin, 1 units, 1 meter square, and 0.25, 1 minus 1 minus 1, 1. Just simplify, you solve your calculator, you just substitute and just able to find it is just 34 minus 34 minus 34 and 34. This will be the 2 cross 2 matrix, 2 nodes, 1 degrees of freedom per node. Similarly, K2 is Ka, just I've reversed. K2 is 0.25, A is 1, L is 0.05 meters. Don't get confused. Where is now 1? 1 is the A. K2 is 0.25. Then substitute, you'll get this value. Similarly, K3, 1 is area, AK by L. K3 is 0.08 or Ka by L. Both are same. L3 is 0.03 meters, 3 centimeters is given, and all this. So you can easily understand these 3 steps. You are able to find K1, K2, K3. K global, write a 4 cross 4 matrix. How many nodes are there? Observe 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 nodes, each nodes 1 degrees of freedom. Size of the matrix n cross n, 4 cross 4. 4 cross 1, that is size of the matrix is 4. Number of nodes 4. Number of degrees of freedom per node is 1. The degrees of freedom here is temperature, not displacements. So 4 cross 4. So write the empty 4 cross 4 matrix. Now from individual stiffness matrix, go on filling this. What is 1 on 1? 34 from here. 1 on 2, minus 34. 3 of 1. There is no 3 of 1 in any of this matrix. 0. 4 of 1. Observe here. 4 of 1. Oh my god, no, nothing is there. 0. Next, 1 of 2, minus 34. 2 of 2. 2 of 2 is 34 plus 2 of 2 is 5. Observe here, 39. This area is 39. 3 of 2 is minus 5. 4 of 2. There is 4 of 2. Nothing is there, 0. Next, 1 of 3. 3 of 1 is 0 means 1 of 3 is also 0. Because there is no 1 of 3 anything elements, still conductivity values. 2 of 3. 2 of 3 is minus 5. 2 of 3 is minus 5. 2 row, 2th column become 3rd row, minus 5 is the term that coincides. 3 of 3. 3 of 3 is 5. There is one more 3 of 3 is 2.66. So 5 plus 2.66, 7.66. 4 of 3. Observe here once again, all of you. 4 of 3. 4 of 3 is minus 2.66. So that's all I'll do. So 1 of 4, 4 of 1 is 0 means 1 of 4 is 0. Symmetric matrix. 2 of 4, 0, because 4 of 2 is also 2 of 4 is also 0. Then 3 of 4. There is 3 of 4 minus 2.6. It's 4 of 4. There is 4 of 2.66 plus 2.66. Please try to note it's not 260 or whatever it is, 2.66. Now observe there this completes the conductivity matrix K. Now come back to H. Film convection coefficient matrix. Okay, conductivity matrix 0, 0, 0 H. I told you to the right it should be 0, 0, 0 H. Look at this once again. I'll show you. Go back. 0, 0, 0, 1, or you take a HA inside, it will be 0, 0, 0 HA. Or I have shown at the beginning some of the equations you're supposed to remember. 0, 0, 0 HA. It's to the right. So why it is to the right? Observe here. Just look at this. Where is it? To the right of you, right? To the right of the surface. Okay, this is right side. This is the extreme left side. So H is found to be acting to the right. I will solve the problem to the left. One more variety afterwards. Try to understand. So this is 0, 0, 0 H. Where it is acting to the element 3. To the right of element 3. So nodes of connectivity is 3, 4. Look at this. So 0, 0, 0 H. 0, 0, 0. What is H? H is 45. What is area? Area is 1. 45 into 1 is simply 45. 45 into 1 is 45. Observe this. Why it is, I have written 45. Now, what are the nodal numbers I have to write? 3, 4, 3, 4. Why? Simply don't write whatever numbers you want. 3, 4, because element is 3, node is 3, here is also node is 4. For the third element, you will see this, what you call the surface exposed. So I will be writing 3, 4, 3, 4 here, 3, 4 and 3, 4. Now you will be writing K stiffness matrix plus the conductivity matrix, you add it, okay, K plus H, K plus H. So K is where here is the K matrix. So you can observe, you can see 3 and 3 and 4 and 4. Observe 1, 34, 2 minus 34, 0, 0. Here it will be minus 34, 2 of 2, 39, 3 of 2 minus 5, 4 of 2 is 0. Observe here, 4 of 2 is 0. Let's come back to 1 of 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4 I'll be writing. So I'll be completing both. I have to add both the stiffness matrix. Next, 1 of 3 is 0. 2 of 3 is minus 5. The same as this. 3 of 3 is 7.66. 4 of 4. 4 of 3 is minus 2.66. Clearly observe. Almost same thing. Now look at the last row. 1 of 4, 0. 2 of 4, 0. 3 of 4, look at this. 3 of 4 again. 2.66. This is also 2.6, no common term. But 4 of 4 is 45, which comes from the previous expression of conductivity matrix. So 4 of 4 here it is 2.66 plus 45. You will get 47.66. This is where you need to be careful. You will be adding this 4 of 4, 47.66. So there's a modification done using the two matrix, A matrix and H matrix. So once you do it, you are taking the effect of both conduction and convection in the problem. Now coming back to the other end of the story, that is the load vector. So to write the load vector, you write the expression, free end expression, load vector at the free end, AHT infinity 0, 1. Observe this, I have told you this in the beginning. AHT infinity 0, 1, if at all it is to the right. This term is existing here. I have also written this at the beginning. AHT infinity 0, 1 to the right. 0, 1. AHT infinity 0, 1 to the right. So if you observe, let me scroll to, okay. So AHT infinity 0, 1. Why I should write? You can see the things are happening to the right of the surface. So when it is right of the surface, I have to remember this equation. This is a load vector due to convection. Load vector due to convection. AHT infinity 0, 1. So what are the node number connected to it? You have to write 3, 4. Don't write simply 1, 2. 1, 2 is here. 3, 4 should be written. 3 is there. element, third element, fourth at the right of 4. So 3, 4 should be written. Observe here 3, 4. Then multiply, area is 1. This is 1, not 2. 1, 45. T infinity, 30 degrees Celsius, I believe, 30 degrees Celsius. So everything is in kelvins. Observe this, even thermal conductivity is Kelvin. So 30 degree Celsius to be converted into Kelvin. So 30 plus 273. You know that what is the temperature? Degree Celsius to Kelvin, add 273. 30 plus 273 will be 303. So 1 into 45 to 303, it will be 0, 1. So 0, 1 I will be writing, 3, 4. And then I will be putting it completed. So 45 into 303 will be 13635. You have to multiply this. 13635 will be getting. So I will be writing the overall convectivity core matrix 0, 0, 0, 1, 6, 13635. Why it is? Because you have 4 nodes. So 1, 2, 3, 4. At the fourth node, you will have this 13635. You have to multiply this. Multiply this and you get this number, and you have written it for entire problem. So obviously 0, 0, 0 is a vector, okay, nodal vector. Now I'll be using this expression k plus h, whatever I have added will become the new k, or kt plus ht will be f. So this, instead of writing that, I have added this corresponding to their nodes, okay, numbers which we have used. So we'll be having 34 minus 34. Observe this same matrix I'll drop here. So all the nodal unknowns of T1, T2, T3, T4 I'll write is equal to 0, 0, 0, 13635. Okay. Now once you do it, you'll be getting this what we call the expression in the form of a thermal equilibrium expression, just like structural equilibrium equation. So you added both the stiffnesses, and you get the resultant value of the matrix. These are unknown, temperature as the unknowns. This is load, thermal load, and the structural load. Now you apply boundary conditions. It's very, very important how to apply boundary condition. You might have seen the first row, first column is eliminated in this particular sheet. How to do it? Look at this. This temperature is specified 600 degrees Celsius. Here you are not supposed to simply strike out the first row, first column. It's very, very important how to do it. So here T1 is specified 600 degrees Celsius. So convert that into Kelvin. It is 873 degree Kelvin. Since the uh, specified boundary condition is T1, make sure you consider that row to get the effect of T1. You have to modify the load vector here. Okay. Consider that row which does not contain 0 in first row and first column. Okay. First row and first column. So you can see this is one row. You might be observing there is a, the row you will be considering is this one. This is the only row where you will be seeing there is no 0 either in first row or first column. Okay, so I'll be writing this equation minus 34 into T1. What do you call the this row? This is very, very important row. Minus 34 into T1 plus 39 into T2 minus 5 into T3 plus 0 into T4 is equal to 0. This row I have taken the second row. Okay, share the contribution of T1 on other nodes, effect of temperature on other nodes. You have to consider the second row for modification. Why I consider second row? Because T1 is specified, there is always specified boundary condition, this one. So consider the row which does not contain 0 in first row or first column. Look at this. This row has 0 in first column. This row has 0 in first column. This row has 0 in first row itself. This row is not a first row. This is second row. So I'll be substituting these values. Minus 34 T1 plus 39 T2 minus 5 T3 equals 0. So 39 T2 minus 5 T3 is equal to, this goes to the other side. This becomes 34 into 873. You know, T1 is specified as 873. So this will become 29682. Simplify using your calculator. multiplication will lead to this value 39 T2 minus 5 T3. So there is T1 term. So now you scratch out the first row, first column. Because T1 is specified, first row, first column, you can scratch it out. What are the resultant values? 39 minus 5, 0, whatever this one is there, T1. Okay. Then the specified this one will be 29682. Okay. You can write this again minus 5, 7.66 minus 2.66. Then it will be T2. It will be 0. Then 0, 2 points minus 2.66, 47.66 into T3. Okay. So it will be 13635. All right. Then observe this, very, very important. This particular value which I have just modified. So if you still have some doubts, let me try to understand this in the next problem. It's very, very important. So 39 will be the resultant matrix. Okay. Why I have eliminated after taking the contribution of T1, the specified boundary conditions. Okay. We have not eliminated T4. So what are the, this one, sorry, this, there is a mistake here. You have to write T2, T3, T4. So make a correction here. T2, T3, T4 is not T1, T2, T3. T1 is eliminated. So this is the end expression. So T2 is 39 T2 minus T3. 0, there is no T4 term here. So that will be 0. So this will be T2. This one is the 29682. T3 same value, right? T3 and 0. T4 is same and then 13635. Now use your calculator as a simultaneous equation, say algebraic equation, linear algebraic equation, 3 equations, 3 unknowns, and solve for it. You will get T2, T3 and T4. Please make a correction here. It is T2, T3, T4. This is not T1, T2, T3. Okay. So let us try to understand the next problem and try to clarify whatever the doubts you were able to get in the first problem. So problem number 2, I'll be explaining this. So there is a similarity the previous problem. Small changes in the data. You have 3 walls, 3 conductivity, thermal conductivities given for 3 walls, different values. So what are those values? Let me try to understand this. Of course, the values are already there, I believe so. So there is, of course, we'll try to do this. What is K1, K2, K3? Of course, probably I've missed out on the K1, K2, K3. So just I'll explain this. When you don't have that values, so let us take down. So there's a small missing data again here. We'll try to understand this. K1 is given 20. Okay. So K2 and K3 is also specified a different value. You can imagine some values which you have solved in the previous problem. Same thing you can write or some data. Once you get it, you can see to the left of the furnace wall, you can see there's a what do you call the film coefficient given. This is the surface temperature 800 degrees Celsius. This is 25 watts per meter square degree Celsius. Temperatures are degrees Celsius. And you can see simple one here. K1 is given as 20 watts per meter degree Celsius. So everything is given in degree centigrade. So we need to calculate, convert into kelvins. That's one different variety. So everything is in degrees Celsius. So you need not add anything up to 73 and things like that. So use the same technique. Just try to observe here. Use K1, find the first stiffness matrix for first element. You will get this simplified version. Ka by L, you write 20, area is 1. Okay, L is the 0.3 meters here. Similarly, K2, the values are absent here. So beg your pardon for this. So K2 will be the values for A is 1 meter. K2, you can take some value. So of course, for that value, you got this K2 matrix. Try to understand this, simple as that. So L is 0.15. substituting and getting the term inside the conductor, you get 2 3 2 3. The connectivity is 1 2 3 4. 1 2 3 are the elements, 3 elements, 4 nodes, same as the previous problem. So K3, you will have K3 is absent here. So what is that? You will be taking the 0.15 as the L. K3, A is 1 meters obviously, so you'll get 333. So this value will get, the nodal connectivity is 3 4 3 4. Now write a big matrix 1 2 3 4. Fill the matrix. Common nodes, if at all like this, add it. I think you can see 533 is added, 3 cross 3. 2 cross 2 is also added, 66 plus 200, 266. So if you add it, then fine. Look at this convection coefficient. There is a equation change. It is not H0 0 0 HA. It is HA 0 0 because you can see to the left. What is the node number? 1 2. Again here load vector is HA T infinity 1 0, not 0. Look at this. HA T infinity or AH T infinity 0 1 was there because you can see to the right. Now it is to the left of element 1. So it has to be 1 0, and this also. 0 0 0 HA previous one, because here it is to the right, everything is to the right. Okay, here it is happening to the left. The question is to the left of the surface, so just accordingly you modify the H matrix, load vector, then H is value is given 25. So K to K3 is often just take the values from previous one. Of course you will not get these values, but still you can try, and the similar technique is same, just to understand the methodology. Now we'll see HA. T infinity is 800. This is basically T infinity, they give 1 0 instead of 0 1, then you simplify, you will get this value. Now you can see small change in the previous technique. Now I'll write the K matrix as it is. I will not add first in the first instance. Here I have added, you can see K and H is added together at the beginning itself. Now I'll separately add it for your understanding. K I will write, same matrix I will write, into how many nodes? 4 nodes, 4 unknowns, 4 temperatures, T1, T2, T3, T4. H I will write, this will be 1 2, this will be 1 2 1 2, right? I missed this 1 2 1 2. Here it is again 1 2. Here also 1 2 1 2. So 1 2 1 2 we take down. So we'll be writing 25 1 element 0. So all these are 4 cross 4 matrix to just add with the K matrix. So similar matrices, 0 terms will not have any role to play. What are the unknowns? T1 T2. So HT, KT plus HT, where you have seen this equation, I'll just show you in the beginning. So KT plus HT. Look at this. KT plus HT equals F. In the previous problem, I added both and I wrote at one stretch. Here it will be separately I'm doing. So you can do whichever fashion you want. Just try to add this. Go backwards. Yes, come here. So this will be corresponding values. So only contribution is H here. This value, H is 25, area is 1. So that value. So that will be simple, everything is 0. Then equals F. What is F? 20,000, the value of magnitude of this temperature. No need to convert into kelvins here because all the values are in degrees Celsius. So I'll use T infinity in degrees Celsius only. I'll get 20,000, write 1 2 here also. Then 1 2 means we are 1 2. Remaining 3 4 you will not have any control. So you will write, you add this. So only this value 66.67 will add to 25. So you'll get 91.67. So you can cross check these values and solve by your own calculators and try to understand. Okay, correspondingly you will get the values. The technique remains the same. So 66.67 plus 25, we'll add it here as common term. 1 2, here it is simply 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4. So this term and this term gets matrix addition, simply matrix addition, corresponding term. And of course this plus 0 will be 0, this plus 0 0 0. So 60 such ones, and the plus 0 will be same, everything is 0. So when you add anything with 0 you get the same number. So other numbers remains the same. Watch out for this, this has to be properly added. So T1 T2 T3 T4, this. Now what is the specified boundary conditions? Very, very important. Okay, here again T1, T2, T3, T4. So this is T1, T2, T3, T4. Given T1, observe here, first row. Okay, so whatever is specified, you have to consider it to consider the effect of it. So T4 is 20 degrees Celsius. So T4 is specified. Sorry, this T4 is specified. You have to find the other values. So once T4 is specified, consider that row which does not contain 0 in fourth row or fourth column. Okay. Okay. Consider that row which does not contain 0 in fourth row or fourth column. Look at this. This is the row which is going to get eliminated in the next step. So this is having the row which can be considered, because in fourth column these two rows have 0 elements, 0 values. You can see 0 is there, 0 is there in first row, in second row. Fourth row is specified. We will not touch this. We should not touch this. Only we have to look for other rows which does not have 0 in fourth row or fourth column. This is the only row. Look at this. This 0 is in which row? Which column? First column. It's not in fourth column, or it's not even a fourth row. Take this, consider third row. Consider third row, then you will be simplifying 0 into T1 minus 200 into T2, this into T3 minus T4 is equal to the corresponding RHS term 0. So what is the value specified in this problem? T4 is given. Add this T4 here. So multiply, sorry, put this T4 and multiply here. So you will get 6666.6. So remaining thing is minus 200 T2 plus 533 T3. So now rearrange the stiffness matrix accordingly. So what is that? You will be getting, look at this, fourth row is like that I've written. Third row you see minus 200 T2 minus 530 plus 533 T3. T4 is taken out because you have used the effect of T4. T4 is 0. That is going to affect the load vector. So what is that load vector? You will get 666 and you will get T4 0. You have to write this equation for third row is modified. Third row is modified. Accordingly, you will get this number. Now eliminate fourth row, fourth column. Just take out because the specified, scratch it out. This row, you scratch it out. This column, you scratch it out. Remaining values are this. You just result in this values and corresponding T1, T2, T3 and this values. Solve using your calculator. Find T1, T2, T3. Of course, T4 is 20 degree, 24 degree or whatever. 20 degree is there. T4 comes out to be 20 degree. So all these things, you know. Now, if you know K1, K2, K3 clearly, you will get the heat transfer coefficient, heat transfer, rate of heat flow. You can also calculate yours using Fourier's law of conduction. Also, if they ask you the additional calculation, find the rate of, course, this you are familiar in your what you call the uh, heat transfer course. So look at this. In this problem, K2, K3 is absent. The absent in the sense the data is missing. So if you have the data, correspondingly you get the values and the technique goes as it is. I'll once again explain this very important step. I'll explain here boundary condition, how to take out. So what is the boundary specified here? T4. Observe here. T4 is specified boundary condition. What to do? It is simply not like you solve your FEM structural problem. When T4 is given, okay, this row is going to get eliminated in the next step. Now what you should supposed to do is consider that row which does not have 0 in fourth row or fourth column. Look at this. Fourth row, this obviously will not be used. So in these three rows, is there any row which does not have 0 in fourth row and fourth column? This is the only row. This row and this row has 0 in fourth column. So you are not supposed to touch these two rows for modification. Take this row. That is why I written consider third row. and then modify it by putting T4 as 28 degrees Celsius. Then you get a resultant equation that you are going to modify the third row of this, and now eliminate fourth row, and you get only this resultant matrix, get T1, T2, T3. Go back to the first problem if you have not understood once again. There is a mistake here. Please make it T2, T3, T4. It is very, very important. Look at this. What is that specified here? Of course, everything is to the right. I will use accordingly the equation. This T1 is specified. So T1 is specified means consider that row which does not have 0 in first row or first column. The only row which does not have 0 in first row or first column is this second row. Okay, because the first row has 0 in first row, these are got in zeros in first column. So this is the only row which does not have 0 in first row, first column. So I'll use minus 34 T1, 39 T2, minus 5 T3 is equal to T0 second row RHS. Next, minus 34 T1 will go this side, or you can even write T1 here, whatever. But here in this problem, everything was given in kelvins, so I just had a 273 to it. In the next problem, what you just discussed, there was everything was in degrees Celsius. We actually stopped that itself with degrees Celsius only. This step, students should be very careful whether it is Celsius or kelvins. So add this, multiply this, and get the resultant value. Modify, then you eliminate first row, first column. See, I've eliminated first column, first row is gone, only this row. In that second row, I will write 39 minus 5 T3 is equal to, directly I'll get this 2968. So RHS will be, please make a correction. This will be T2, T3, T4, and then find T2, T3. Here it is correct. Here you have to make a correction. So we shall stop at this topic till conduction. Of course, we have one more problem. We can do this the similar fashion. What is the technique here is, you have only one mole given. To the right, you will see film coefficient specified. But what is the technique you should supposed to do? Discretize into two elements. So instead of three elements here, discretize into two equal number of elements. Two equal number of elements of same size. The 0.3 meters split into 0.15. Right, the discretizers. Right, K1. See, in this problem, no data is absent. Everything is crystal clear. So K1 is given. So K is same for both. So you'll write K1 and K2. And then once you get K1, K2, get the K global. It's not the structural global matrix, global conductivity matrix. Look at this. You have to speak in these terms into only conduction, conductivity matrix. At the left end, there is no convection. In convection matrix to the left side, HL is ignored. Okay. So to the right, you have there is ignored and HR is considered to the right. 2, 3, 2, 3. What is this? You will be writing for 2, 3. Here you will have H. So for 2, 3, you will have H. Of course, this is 0. Simply, you want a technique of just this is 0. This exists. So 0, 0, H. H is how much? It's given as 40. You can see 40 is given. So 40 into 1. So all for 1 meter square. So load vector H infinity 0, 1 to the right. If it is to the left, it is 1, 0. T infinity is given minus 15 degrees Celsius, means something related to this refrigerator applications. Minus 15 degrees Celsius. T3 substitute, you get minus 600, where it is to 2, 3. 2, 3 is the node connected to the surface. Then you write KT plus ST, write the global conductivity matrix, 3 cross 3, 3 nodes. Then here you will have 40. There in the previous problem, here you add a number. If it is to the left, if it is to the right, the top bottom, topmost bottom you will see. Otherwise, H matrix you will see topmost left. Okay, or topmost bottom. Now 0, 0, minus 600. Just to get the matrix in a similar fashion, same size. 0, 0, 0. 0 is for 1, 0 is for 2. Here minus 600. There is a mistake here. Check out minus 600 here. Then whatever the specification he has done is given this 28 degrees Celsius. T1 is given T1 is given, so this row, this column gets eliminated. Before you eliminate, you have to consider the effect of T1 on the problem, on the temperature, because in the load vector you can see. So when T1 is given, consider that row which does not have 0 in first row and first column. Of course, this row should be only considered because this has 0 in first column. This has 0 in first row. Techniques, look at the same technique I used in the previous two problems. That row, consider that row which does not have 0 in first row, first column. Why first row? Because T1 is specified. T1 corresponds to row number 1. So minus 4.61. Before you strike off, use this matrix minus 4.61 and T1 9.34 into T2 minus 4.61 T3 is equal to 0. Then put T1 in this equation, whatever the value is. T1 in the equation, and then go to 9.34 T2 minus 4.63 T2. This will go here. T1 you substitute 28 degrees Celsius, all the values in degrees Celsius, you need to Kelvins. The values of K and all given in Kelvins, H is given in Kelvins. Check out this value very carefully. You have to add 273 degrees Celsius. Then get the value of the Q, the load vector, contribution of from the T1. Now cancel first row, first column. Real term 9.34 remains 4 minus 4 points minus 4.611. 44. Look at this. I have added this 40 plus 4, obviously 44. T2, T3. So this one I'll write down second equation. RHS was 0 in the previous. The contribution of the T1 will make 130.76. Of course, T3 will be minus 600. So now it is correct here. I have run correctly. Minus 600. And then use this calculator and solve for this equation. Get T2 and T3. So there is spin problem here, which I will explain in the next session. Thank you. If you have any doubts, you can discuss later.